Hello again, Gills fans. Welcome back to the latest episode of Gills in the Blood TV. It's Monday review time, and unfortunately, it's time to look back on and reflect on Saturday's last gasp defeat at home to playoff chasing Portsmouth, who stretched their unbeaten run to 9 games in all competitions, with that final minute dagger through the heart, gut-wrenching Jack Tucker own goal, courtesy of the cross-come shot from Michael Jacobs. It wasn't what Gillingham deserved, but unfortunately, I think when you're down the bottom, only luck you have is bad luck. It just shows no sign of abating, unfortunately, for the moment, in terms of the Gills. But yeah, certainly signs of promise, certainly signs of life. But what we need at the moment is points, not promise. But let's have a look back at the game as a whole. First half, we were really good, but there was nearly a calamity inside the first minute or so, wasn't there, when a long ball over the top, I think Robbie McKenzie slightly misjudged it and got caught underneath it, and instead of heading it forwards, headed it up and backwards. And George Hurst, I think it was, I said Ronan Curtis at the time, but I believe it was George Hurst, got in behind, tried to lob it over Jamie Cumming. For all the world, it looked like it was going in, but Cumming managed to get fingertips onto it and push it onto the bar and avert a disaster. And I think if we'd gone 1-0 down inside the first 100 seconds or so, it could have been a really, really long afternoon, and probably we'd have got beat by more than we ended up doing so. But a really good save from Jamie Cumming. But after that, we settled into the game, and we was a threat on the break. We were playing with pace and a bit of precision. We was actually getting it down, playing through the thirds, and we looked like we was causing them problems. They were makeshift at the back, I get that. Connor Ogilvie, our former defender, former player of the year, was operating as the central defensive member of a trio. And it was two people either side of him that are not out-and-out centre-backs, but they did a job. But yeah, we got into some good areas, and territorially, we more than matched them. We kept them at arm's length. And the big chance comes, doesn't it, for John Akindi, and he makes it all himself. I thought Big John was really good all afternoon. Unfortunately, just doesn't score enough goals, does he? And when he goes through on goal at the moment, you just don't think he's going to put it away. If it was for Dane Oliver, you'd probably bet your mortgage on it. But John Akindi was very good, and he made the chance himself. He allowed Connor Ogilvie to get tight, managed to spin him with his body, and then started running in towards goal. Just wanted one more touch into the box, and then you bring a penalty into play. But unfortunately, it looked like he was running out of legs, or the defenders were catching him. He's tried to have a shot, and I think he scuffed it slightly. It was at the far end to us, and Gavin Bazumbu managed to gather it quite comfortably at the second attempt, and the chance had passed itself by. But yeah, like I say, first half was fairly even. That was our big chance. Their big chance was the one right at the beginning. They had another one when we switched off slightly down our right back area. George Hurst had a shot that was beaten away by Jamie Cumming, and then he flicked the follow-up from Marlon Romeo over the bar. But yeah, 0-0 at the break, and we were certainly in the game. Second period started in the same way as the first, and that was a chance for the visitors, and it was Marcus Harness who drifted in from the left-hand side. He'd come off his station as a central striker, just kept running diagonally towards the edge of our box, and we seemed to think that was okay, and we parted like the Red Sea. And he got into the edge of the box and made a decent enough fist of his shot. It was straight at Jamie Cumming, thankfully, from our point of view, and he beat it away. I think it went out for a corner. He just thought if we're going to carry on like that and undo the hard work of the first half, it would be a long 45 minutes. But thankfully, we switched on, didn't we? And again, we grew into the half and we started to match them. We was getting into good areas without really forcing Bazuma to make a proper save. But the big chance is the long ball over the top from Max Amar. And John Akindi gets himself away from Connor Ogilvie, runs into the box. I said penalty straight away in the ground. It's an absolute stonewaller for me. I've seen nothing to change my mind since. Some people have said that Bazuma got a touch on the ball. Some have said that John Akindi didn't have it under control. But for me, that type of challenge by any other player on any part of the pitch is a booking and is a foul. So I don't see why it's not in the penalty area. For me, John Akindi gets there first. He nudges the ball past Bazuma, who absolutely wipes him out with a hip, a knee, I'm not sure what. But he cleans John Akindi out. And for me, it's a penalty, and it's the rub of the green, isn't it, that we're not getting at the moment. Maybe if it was the other way round and it's Portsmouth there up near the top of the table, the referee puts his whistle to his mouth and points to the spot. But the chance came and went, or the shout came and went at least. The chances were still to come. Danny Lloyd gets himself in a bit of space on the right-hand side of the box. John Akindi again shows really good awareness, brings it in under control, slips him in. You just want Danny to show a little bit of composure. Fortunately, he leans back on his right foot and blazes it into the Rainham end. And I remember saying to Boz on the Matchday Live at the time, that's the chance we wanted. That's the one we've been waiting for. Lo and behold, a minute or so later, we got another one. and I think Danny Lloyd's standing in an offside position, but it's a goal kick, so he can't be given offside. The ball just keeps travelling down towards the Rainer men penalty area, and suddenly he's on, you know, on the edge of the box, and I'm thinking, left foot, yes. We've seen him smash one in against Cambridge a few weeks ago, didn't we? Really good finish. But unfortunately, it ended up in a Rainer end again. And that was when you started thinking, maybe we're not going to score again, because we have been struggling for goals recently. And then we had to dig in. Portsmouth's bench was a lot better than ours in terms of options. There's no point pretending otherwise. They're bringing on the likes of Michael Jacobs. We're bringing on children, the likes of Gerald Satole, Bailey Akehurst, who will be good footballers, but they're not in the same class and calibre as the likes of Michael Jacobs that Pompey are able to call upon. But we thought we'd done enough, didn't we? And it would have been a well-deserved point and a well-deserved clean sheet. But it was Jacobs in the final minute or so of injury time that got to the byline, gets it out of his feet, and I think it's a cross-come shot. He's looking to just fizz it across the 6-yard box for me, looking at the replays. Jack Tucker, absolutely immaculate all afternoon. Tries to block it off, which is what he has to do as a centre-half. Hits him on the inside of the ankle. Fizzes past Jamie Cumming and nestles in the bottom corner. Delirium amongst the Fratton Park faithful down at the far end. Silence in the Rainham end. Silence in the Gordon Road stand, and silence in the Medway stand. Another defeat, another game without a goal. Yeah, not too much more to say, unfortunately, at the moment, because it just seems that we're being constantly kicked when we're down, and we need to do something to change that. We need players back, we need a bit of luck, and then I'm sure it will turn. But yeah, another defeat, unfortunately, for Steve Evans-Gillingham. In terms of Pompey's best player on the day, from my point of view, there was a couple of contenders. I thought Conor Ogilvie was very, very good on the whole, marshalling a backline that didn't have orthodox defenders in it alongside him. I thought George Hurst looked a threat at the other end of the pitch, created himself a couple of opportunities. But for me, it's probably one of the unsung heroes, and that was someone in the middle of the park, and that was Joe Morrell. I thought was very tidy in possession. He completed 90 minutes. During those 90 minutes, he completed 31 passes, 2 of which were key and led to chances or got him Pompey into good areas. He won 50% of all his duels. And he won 2 tackles and completed 2 interceptions as well. So a real solid and accomplished performance from Joe Morrell in the middle of the park for Portsmouth. So for me, he was their man of the match. In terms of the Gills player ratings, it wasn't a poor performance by any means. It was a really, really solid effort from front to back. Jamie Cumming, the keeper, made saves when he had to. John Akindi's link-up plays, hold-up play was very, very good. Did everything but score again. How often do we say that? Danny Lloyd, Mustafa Carriel were always trying to make things happen, even if it didn't come off. And in the middle of the park, we were really competitive as well. Jamie Cumming, 7.5 for us. Back 4, Ryan Jackson, 6.5. Max Amar, the same. Jack Tucker, the standout in that back 4, 7.5. Robbie McKenzie, an understated performance. Another one of them unsung heroes, plays everywhere. Really good, solid 7 from Robbie. He had to play left back, and then he went into the middle of the park second half when Daniel Adseed had to go off with, yet you've guessed it, an injury. Adseed himself, I thought, was really good until he went off after about 55 minutes. 6.5 for him, would have probably been 7 or more if he'd managed to stay on the pitch longer. Stuart O'Keefe back to his biting best in the middle of the park, 7 as well. In terms of them creative and attacking players, we've given Danny Lloyd, Ollie Lee and Mustafa Carriel all a 6.5. Not everything came off, didn't see loads of the ball, but they kept trying, they kept wanting the ball. They never shied away from their responsibility. And John Akindi leading the line, we gave a 7. If he nicks a goal, he's probably man of the match. He might have won us the game. And then you're looking at, 7.5, 8, 8.5. Same as Danny Lloyd with them 2 chances as well. In terms of the substitutes, Gerald Satole wasn't on long enough, so we didn't give him a rating. Bailey Akehurst, solid 6.5 when he came on at left back for the final half an hour. So that is my Gillingham match ratings. In terms of who was the Gills man of the match, there were a few contenders. Like we say, Robbie McKenzie, Stuart O'Keefe, both really, really good, solid on the day. But for me, it was a straight shootout between Jack Tucker and Jamie Cumming. I know the sponsors' man of the match went to Jack Tucker in the ground. And yes, we have been the victim of the, that Twitter page that events that precede unfortunate EFL events. And of course, the Gillingham Twitter feed has been put on there. The announcement of Jack Tucker being man of the match and then scoring the own goal shortly after. I gave it to Jamie Cumming myself. he makes a big save right at the beginning that stops us from going 1-0 down after a minute or so. And I think if that had gone in, it could have been a really long and really poor afternoon for the Gills. So that's a big save at a big moment. He then made a double save midway through the half from George Hurst and Marlon Romeo. And then he stood up and kept out Marcus Harness's effort right at the start of the second half. It's a save you'd expect Jamie Cumming to make. He is making too many saves because we're giving away too many chances, unfortunately. Did he deserve a clean sheet? Absolutely. Did he deserve something from the game? Absolutely. Are we getting stuff like that in terms of luck and results? Absolutely not. It has to change. But Gills' man of the match for me was Jamie Cumming. Right, that is it in terms of summing up the game at the weekend from the Priestfield against Portsmouth, where Danny Cowley's men went away with a 1-0 victory courtesy of that late own goal. I would say I hope you've enjoyed listening and watching me relive all the key moments. But being a Gills fan at the moment is not entirely enjoyable, is it? That's not a word we're using at the moment. But we have to suck it up. We have to keep dusting ourselves down, and we keep going again and hoping that luck will change. Did read that Reece Bennett should have played, but came into contact with someone with COVID, so he had to self-isolate, so he was unavailable. But at least it means he's fit. And if you self-isolate, he cannot get injured. We do have a 10-day break now, no game until Tuesday, the 7th of December, when we travel to Rotherham. So a nice, easy one. But fingers crossed we'll have a few more people back from injury by then. Right, that is enough from me. Do not forget to check out Man v Fat Football. If you are looking to lose weight and playing football with like-minded individuals, then go and sign up. Use the code Gills in the blood and you will get your subscription for just £1, or an absolute bargain before Christmas. Hope your Monday's not been too stressful. We'll be back in a week or so to review probably the Rotherham game, to preview the Fleetwood game the following Saturday. Christmas will be busy, so it might just be match day lives over the festive period, but I'll keep you informed via social media. But until next time, up the Gills.